I would like to say to the European Union, the African Union and ECOWAS, please stay out of our business.
The people are suffering in this country. We shouldn't be living like this. We're coming out to support the forces because they're here to bring us balance.
You know, this photo that you see, it tells 1,000 words. That is the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, with some African leaders in the recently concluded Russia-Africa summit. In that summit, 49 African countries sent representatives to St. Petersburg, Russia, to meet up with Russia and have some collaboration. A lot of Africans are sick and tired of their relationship with the Western world, the United States, United Kingdom, France, Western Europe. That relationship has yielded nothing but poverty, robbery, political instability, and every form of destruction in our societies. So they are emotionally gravitating towards Russia and China. But the big question is, Russia and China, are we just going to meet them because we are sick of the West? Because if that's what we are doing, trust me, we would make emotional decisions that would backfire again. And then it's going to be a case where we exchanged one colonizer for another. And just looking at this photo, the hand gesture of Vladimir Putin, to me, it tells that he has dominance over these guys. He has dominance. And me personally, I don't like it. I don't like the West. I don't like China. I don't like Russia. Any partnership, relationship we should have with these people should be equal. The first blunder from the African leaders was having shipped 49 of them and their colleagues, more than 49 of them, traveled to go meet the Russian officials. Why wasn't it the other way around? Why did the Russians not travel to African Union? Anyways, that is aside. Join me. Thank you for joining me on the African Wahala this morning. This video is about the coup going on in Niger Republic. As we all know, currently there are 6 sub-Saharan African countries under military rule. I have them posted on the screen, from Burkina Faso to Chad, Guinea, Conakry, Mali, Sudan, and Niger. And this new wave of military coup takeovers began in August 2020. The latest one being Niger Republic happened about a day ago. And then ECOWAS. ECOWAS is the Economic Community of West African States. It's a West African entity. They came out threatening Niger and the coup plotters of a forceful military intervention.
Pendant 12 ans de régime, le quotidien des Nigériens n'a pas changé. Par conséquent, les Nigériens ont appelé à sortir massivement et de bouter dehors cette politique. Nous sommes également sortis pour dire à ce petit Macron de la France que le Niger nous appartient. C'est à nous de faire ce que nous voulons du Niger, ce que nous voulons, nous traitons avec qui nous voulons et comme nous voulons.
So clearly, the people of Niger, not everybody, obviously, but it seems like the people in Niamey, Niger, they came out to protest in support of the military takeover and against France. We all know France has been dominant in many West African countries since the end of colonization. What France has been doing is nothing but armed robbery, very, very disgusting in West Africa. But I won't put the entire blame on France. I also blame the West African leaders for allowing a foreign country to dominate them for so long. It's a mess. Most importantly, the people in these countries are living in extreme poverty. They have no economic benefits. They have no security. There is terrorism spreading across these countries. So tell me what the benefit of the African leaders that have been there for so long collaborating with France has on the people in this country. It has absolutely nothing. So the people have come out to protest against France's support for Bazoum. Bazoum was the former president that was ousted by the military guys. The people are supporting the military guys for kicking out Bazoum, a French puppet. And the reason they are supporting the military takeover is simply because poverty and lack of security has killed them, destroyed their country. Now, they supporting the military could backfire. We understand that fact. It could backfire because the military taking over African countries, it never ends up well. It never ever ends up good. It ends up being a bunch of greedy military guys that would use force to dominate the people, suppress the human rights, etc. So the people are caught between a rock and a hard place. They are sick and tired of French having puppet leaders in Niger and many of these other countries. But at the same time, the military people that are about to take over, they would end up being unscrupulous. We've seen the gameplay thousands of times in the past.
I would like to say to the European Union, the African Union and ECOWAS, please stay out of our business.
The people are suffering in this country. We shouldn't be living like this. We're coming out to support the forces because they're here to bring us balance.
After Wednesday's coup, the head of the Presidential Guards unit, General Abdurrahman Chiani, declared himself Niger's new leader. But France, an ally of ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, has condemned the takeover, along with the EU and the West African regional bloc.
You know, this is the clearest evidence that the West African bloc, ECOWAS, is a joke. ECOWAS is a puppet of the West. ECOWAS is a spineless organization. It's useless. ECOWAS is made up of 16 West African countries. They are supposed to be grouped together for the economic and security prosperity of these West African countries. But we all know that ECOWAS has been absolutely nothing. It's done nothing. ECOWAS is useless, period. I mean, this is the same ECOWAS that sends delegates when any one of its members has a general elections. The elections are most of the time marred with violence and electoral rigging. But the ECOWAS delegates always consistently come back with the same report. Oh, the elections went good. And guess what happens? Poverty, lack of security, poverty, lack of basic amenities. It continues to destroy our environment. The people are so poor, they've lost self-integrity. Not self-integrity, they've lost... What's the word that I'm looking for now? They've lost their selves, their sense of self. People are so poor, they don't have confidence anymore. That's what they've done to us as a people. So ECOWAS is useless. And ECOWAS is sounding like it's on the same wavelength as France, as far as the Niger coup is concerned. And that should be concerning to people. Because if you're on the side of the colonizers that have blatantly robbed West African countries for decades, then you're a joke. Now ECOWAS is threatening to use military force to go attack Niger Republic. Military equipment that would be supplied by France and the United States. They want to use those military equipment to attack Niger for ousting a French puppet, Bazoum. It's crazy. That's the world that we find ourselves in West Africa. It's insane. And the mess is going to continue for a while because we still haven't figured it out. Now, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, they are collaborating with Russia heavily because Russia is enemies with the West. It's like we are the pawns. We are the pawns being used in the grand scheme of the war between the West and Russia and China. The same way Ukraine is currently being a pawn between the West and Russia. It's crazy. But let me know what you think. We will be keeping our eyes on the news as usual. And I will try as much as possible to bring you some breakdowns of the social, political, economic situations going on in Africa, many West African countries, even the Africa diaspora